My first guest this morning is Ward Malisch, who's Technical Director of the American Society of Concrete Contractors. And a good morning to you, Ward.
Good morning.
Pleased to have you with us.
Thank you.
Now, you have a real challenge ahead of you. As I understand it, you guys are going to develop, or are in the process of developing, some sort of a guideline on green building.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Let's tell people what you got in mind and why.
All right. First, let me tell you what we have two projects. One is a book. It's going to be called A User's Guide to Green Concrete and Building Construction. And by green concrete, we're not talking about color. We're talking about the environmental effects.
The aspects of environment.
Right. And one of the main factors that they try to control in green concrete is limiting the amount of Portland cement, because Portland cement gives off greenhouse gases when it's manufactured.
Right.
However, in the urge to reduce the cement, they've gone so far as to have it or even use less Portland cement than you would have in what I'll call traditional concrete, and they replace it with either fly ash or slag cement usually, and that has different properties. Then the concrete has different properties. It doesn't set as fast, it doesn't gain early strength as fast, and that presents problems for contractors. That affects their scheduling, and that in turn affects cost. So what we're trying to do with this user's guide is to let everyone know in the building team, right from the owner to the architect engineer to the concrete producer to the general contractor, the construction manager, and the concrete contractor, what to expect when you use extremely low cement contents. So we've got a very narrow focus in our research.
But it's all up and down the ladder of the entire concrete industry.
That's exactly right, because sometimes people want so badly to be green that they want to just cut the cement content to amounts that we've never seen before. So we're in uncharted waters, really.
I understand.
Yeah.
What can you share with us some of the testing and the research that you've come up with so far? As far as, what can the average contractor today look at and say, well, I'd like to complete a project, or I'd like to enter into a project that has the green considerations to it. And I suspect that you've already developed some sort of minimums.
We haven't developed some minimums yet, but what we're doing is, I'll talk a little bit about the research end of it, because we got a grant from the Charles Pankow Foundation. They're a big contractor in California, and we told them what we wanted to do. We wanted to partner with U.S. Concrete, which is a very big concrete producer, with Webcor, which is a big contractor in California, with Tipping Mar, which is a structural engineering firm that is very big into green construction, and with BASF, which is an admixture manufacturer, and you need admixtures for this. So what we're trying to do is to test mixtures going all the way from a straight cement mixture, maybe 600 pounds of cement per cubic yard, all the way up to a mixture that's 70% fly ash plus slag and has 198 pounds of cement per cubic yard.
Whoa.
These are unheard of numbers.
Absolutely.
And so what we're doing is just trying to test this, find out what's the best way to cure it. What's the best thing that you can do if the strengths don't come up?
Sure.
How can you predict if you're doing something like post-tensioning, which is applying stress to cables after the concrete reaches a certain strength? Usually we wait 2 or 3 days. Are we going to have to wait 5 days, 10 days? That really affects schedule. So we want to find that out. Now here's the hitch. We haven't started the research yet because it's the rainy season in California.
Sure.
And we're going to have field testing where we want the concrete to be in the normal environment, which is dry. So we've just started the lab testing, and we don't have too much there. But the other part is simply a literature review of all of the green concrete projects that have been built. There have been some good ones, and there have been some I won't call them bad ones in the sense that
Just not so good.
difficult ones.
Difficult.
And what we're trying to do is increase the number of good projects and decrease the number of difficult. I'll just call them difficult.
Have you reached any kind of a conclusion or a decision on the timeline for this to come out into the?
Yes. We'll have a final report in March of 2013.
Okay.
So we're starting the lab testing right now. We should start the field testing in March or April maybe.
Of this year?
Yeah, that'll take about 4 months. Then we're going to analyze the data, and that's going to be the second report, and that report is not for owners. That is a very technical report. That's going to be lots of charts, lots of graphs, lots of stuff that the layperson would read and just zone out.
Well, good luck and much success in your endeavor, and it'd be great for you to talk to us again as we go on, and maybe next year, and as you get closer to publication of your final paperwork.
I'll have a lot more for you next year
I'm sure
if we
you
can
will.
talk to you.
Ward Malisch, who's the technical director of the American Society of Concrete Contractors, and that's something that we can look forward to. Certainly, it's all part of the technical aspects of this great industry in America. And we'll be right back as we go right along here from World of Concrete 2012.